Buenos dias, everyone, or buenos noches, probably for most of you who are watching this at 3 in the morning, listening to my smooth and silky voice lull you to sleep. Anyways, today we're going to be painting my buddy's guitar. I'm going to be trying a new technique that involves newsprint and spray paint. And obviously we gotta start by dismantling the guitar. This was quite a painstaking process. I usually don't have this much trouble with guitars, but apparently explorers are a special breed. But yeah, there's all sorts of complications. Like, these screws are 2 different lengths and they came from the same pickup ring. I don't understand. But yeah, hopefully you'll get some enjoyment out of watching me massacre this thing. What I'm doing now is taping down the pickups so that I can then flip the guitar over, undo the back plate for the cavity so that I can push the pots out. But I forgot to loosen the pots before I push them out of their respective cavities. So I do that with a pair of pliers, like the pro that I am. And then we can push the pots through. And I'm a really popular person, so I gotta check my phone real quick. Anyways, we'll pull the pots out. And then gently lie it down so that we can then caress the guitar. This is a rounded tip screw. We're going to be using this to pop out the inserts for the bridge and tailpiece. This is a technique that I learned from a quick Google search. You just drop her in head first, and then you just screw one of the bridge posts down until it pops out. It's actually a really neat technique. I've seen a lot more complicated ones, and I've tried more complicated ones, but never one quite this simple, and I wasn't expecting it to work the way it did. Now that we have everything beautifully masked off, it's now time to break out the sander. This part was the absolute worst fucking part, and I hated every single bit of it. It was annoying. The sandpaper bit that was on there wasn't doing enough, so I had to switch to a more coarse grit. And eventually, the more passes I did, the more progress I started to see. But ultimately, it would take me, I'd say it probably took me a couple of days to get it sanded down to a point to where I was happy. It's time to break out the big boy gloves, because a big boy tool rattles my big boy hands, if that makes any sense. It is satisfactory. Time to break out regular sandpaper just to completely smooth the finish, make it all even, you know, kind of work out any kinks in the finish. Oh, it would seem we have a visitor.
Yeah. YouTube.com/Shit2Dave. Where's the freaking Dabadoo? Better watch out a little bit.
Anyways, now it's time to clean our workstation, because a clean workstation is a happy workstation. Fucking lungs. now it's time to start drilling. My friend wanted me to move his strat peg from the original location to the back of the neck joint, because the way it is right now, apparently it's balanced really shitty and wants to neck dive, and I can vouch for this. I tried it myself. So we're going to be moving it back here in hopes that that makes it better. And I did make sure that I wasn't drilling into the pickup cavity or anything. And ultimately it was a success. There's a way that you gotta do masking tape sometimes. I like to do it as if I'm wrapping a gift present for a loved one on the holidays. Nice and neat. Though sometimes it gets so nauseating that my stomach hurts. These are all the colors that I'm going to be using. Some of them I end up not using, but they're mainly leftover colors and also some new ones that I have from doing murals and whatnots. First I'm going to lay on a decent couple of coats of this modern mint color, because I definitely want this to be the base color, which is kind of what I had in mind from the beginning. There's the second coat. I think ultimately I put 4 coats of the mint on there, of course off camera, but now we start getting pretty wild, if you know what I mean. Some pretty crazy shit's about to happen. Yeah, it's kind of doing the thing. This is my first time doing this newspaper technique, and it's not exactly the way I would have expected it, but it ended up not disappointing. Of course, it would take me about 20 to 30 minutes to get exactly what I wanted. Just kept on going over and over with different colors until I got just the right look, you know. And that's just sometimes what you gotta do. Like, I didn't want anything too harsh. I wanted light clouds of vibrant colors gently fading into the mint up top. This is the part that gave me the most anxiety. We're going to be using Posca pins. Now my friend, his whole persona thing that he likes to use is the bison, so he's requested that I draw a bison head on this guitar. And it would take me a couple of tries. Obviously, I tried some things that I shouldn't have. Like, I'm not really sure what this is coming out. But the thing about Poscas is ultimately you can just wipe it all away. Except that black was pretty stubborn, but I was mostly able to just draw over it, and for the most part you can't really tell what happened beneath. Somehow I feel like I've drawn better bison heads in the past, but I'm pretty happy with it. There's really no reason to be unhappy with it. But now it's time to clear coat, and I think ultimately I put on about 5 coats of matte clear coat, mainly to smooth out the texture of all the layers of paint that I just globbed on there. And it ended up making this really cool, like stone granite-y kind of texture. It was just really neat. But now it's that moment of truth that you and I have been waiting for all this time. And that's the peel, my friends.
Shut up!
Now it's time to wipe away all the gunk and the goo that is built up on the guitar from all the masking tape. Wipe away the sawdust, remnants that have managed to stay behind. And now it's time to put the guitar back together, which was just as complicated as it was taking apart. One thing that ended up happening is that I lost the retaining nut for the tone pot, which meant that it would stick out from the body significantly more than the other pots. And it was very off-putting and frightening, and I didn't really know what to do about it. Ultimately, there was nothing I could do about it. One thing's for sure is that I could not wait to see how it looked with all the black hardware and the black pickguard on it. It's just a really nice contrast. Here it is so far, and so far it's looking good. This is the new nut. It won't fit. satisfying click tells me it fits. And you know, sometimes you just have to make things fit in life. Just like my fucking ex-wife. Now that the strings have come in, it's time to lower the bridge and fix the action. Alright, well, we got the strings for it, and we put the strings on there, and one thing that I had found was that the bridge was way too high, and that's just because of the way I put it back on there. I didn't screw these bridge posts all the way down, or down far enough. It doesn't have to be all the way down, but at least down far enough. But I went ahead and I got that fixed. But another glaring issue is that the nut that I had put on there, it's a little high. It's definitely not something that you could probably see. Shit. Got it? Yeah, I'm sure you do. But basically the nut needs to be filed down. And my buddy, he already bought the strings and put them on there. And I don't really necessarily think that it's a terrific idea to take the strings off, file down the nut, and then put the strings back on, because I'm pretty sure he would have to order another pack, and it's not like you can go and get strings in a brick and mortar establishment right now. All guitar stores are closed in the city, and for good reason, it would seem. It doesn't matter, it's playable. I just told him whenever these strings wear down, take it back to me and I'll file down the nut. It's more of just like a comfort thing. It still has a good resonance to it. But yeah, I'm gonna quit talking so you can hear this guitar, I guess. I mean, I didn't change anything about the hardware, really, just the nut. I mainly just painted it, but I figured y'all would want to just, you know, hear me play it, considering how cool I made it look. Anyways, yeah, this is the dry signal. It sounds pretty good for some stock Epiphone pickups. I know my buddy was talking about changing out the pickups. I mean, these pickups have a really good sustain, and they got a really good sound to them. Got a really good bite. But yeah, I know y'all want to see me play with distortion too, so I will not disappoint in that regard. Just dry distortion. I'm not using any pedals. I'm just playing through my PRS MT15, and I've got just about all the EQ to like 2 o'clock. The treble's at like almost 3 o'clock. The gain is very low. I have the gain set to like, I don't even know, like 7 o'clock, like notch 1 type shit. Slight fret buzz right there, but that was kind of always an issue with this guitar. I honestly am not really an expert in mitigating any sort of fret buzz. I'm also not an expert in any sort of truss rod work, but it doesn't sound too bad though. That's not in tune. Let's try that again. Let's try it with some effects on. You ever try to turn on a pedal with like your bare toe and it just kind of slips off because it's like one of those buttons? That playing style makes my hand really tired. I know with this guitar you'd probably look really cool, you know, if you played some like drone style music. Yeah, no, this thing has like a sustain on it that's really fun to play with. I don't have a lot of guitars that sustain like this. Let me know what you guys thought. Now you know how cool this thing is gonna look and sound, so yeah. Oh, and real quick, one last thing, just cause I know you gearheads out there are a bunch of OCD bastards. Oh, god damn it. The fuck? I don't get it. These screws need to be tightened down? They're not really tightened down anymore. I guess I'll just move on to the next string. I'll get back to it. This tool is not fit for this job. I brought ye old rusty dog. Let's hope these hogs can get the job done. Oh, it's such a not good sound. Fuck me, dude. This is not happening nearly as cleanly as I really had intended. So, y'all OCD guys watching this are probably having a much rougher time than I intended for you, and I am sorry for that. But we have to look at the situation at hand here. I don't have the right tools to cut string. Please don't dislike my video. I'm getting metal shavings all over the place. Somehow we're better off just not cutting these things. Y'all think regular scissors will do the B and E string? It's worth a fucking shot. I mean, I'm probably gonna ruin my fucking scissors though. Here goes. I can already feel my fucking scissors loosening. As you know, like when this part becomes too separated and then they just don't fucking cut anything. That's already what's about to happen. I can already tell. So worst case scenario, I need new beard scissors. I got all the strings. It's not very clean though, but from a distance you can't tell, and that is what matters. I mean, like, it's definitely possible to get hurt. I'm sure most guitar players know not to like put their hands like that. Shit does snag you and it fucking hurts. It always happens, no matter how clean you cut these things. You know what actually these things are called? They're called gig bag ruiners. That's exactly what they're called. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that that's a fact. I think that term was coined in 1858, back when Abraham Lincoln was signing the Declaration of Independence. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This project had to have taken me at least several weeks, but it was entirely worth it. My buddy loved it, he had a great reaction, and I'm honestly jealous of him. But stay safe out there, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night, and eat more apples. An apple a day keeps the doctor away.